My name is José Paulino Vitete de Almeida. I have 8 children and 8 grandchildren. I was born on April the 15th, 1955. I went to a technical college when I was 15 years old. During colonial times, one would only study up to 4th grade. Later, even that wasn't possible. Those were Portuguese times. I had to learn a trade and work. I worked in the Air Force at the airport as a stonemason. In 1975 began the civil war between the feuding parties, and with it came confusion and strife. We were here when a UNITA force came from outside the town. An MPLA unit was already here. That was when military service became compulsory for all boys. I was a radio specialist in the army, a communications expert. Then I specialized in heavy arms, and later directed field artillery fire. Apart from that, I was also a bit of a politician. I went to a professional nursing school at the beginning of the conflict. I completed the first 3 months, but the teachers had to leave because they stopped being paid. Then they took me away to command an army unit. It wasn't my aim. It wasn't my wish. I was pressured because of the war atmosphere. Both sides lived the war. Those who refused to comply would either be killed or imprisoned, or treated as the enemy. There were many bad things. First, hatred of people. Even family members, your own mother. You had to part with anybody who was from a different party, did not belong to your party. Secondly, there was the killing. If you informed on someone, accused him, reported him to the appropriate authorities, he would be tried, and sometimes even killed. The military would also act as they pleased, because they had power. They would beat people, confiscate property, mistreat their own people. Anyone with a gun could do as he pleased. Whilst those in power, the political leaders, they liked that. Nobody thought about peace. There was only war, war, arms and arms. They would say that there is no God. That's why the evil was so unbelievable. I can say that in all honesty, things were really dangerous, inhuman. This wasn't something you would hear about. I saw it with my own eyes. There is an army unit exactly here, short distance from my home. There was an execution field there. Many died. I decided to resign from the army because the life I was about to lead would not have sat well with the Christian life. I did not want to pick up any gun anymore or be involved with politics. Anybody wanting to belong to God could not be involved in such a life. Evil doesn't fit with the word of God, so I had to leave. That's how I landed with the Salesians. I studied for 2 years to become a Salesian helper, which is how I began the life of a catechist. In spite of the difficult times, we went out to faraway villages, rested, and then preached the gospel amongst the people. We passed through military checkpoints and a variety of obstacles, and with God's help reached these villages and evangelized the people. I was a special Eucharistic minister. I brought Holy Communion to the ill and the old who were unable to come to church. Fear? We felt no fear. We would not have left the city had we felt fear. We would first gather all the young people and tell them about the Bible. Then there was the football, guitar playing lessons, music, teaching them songs, prayer, the rosary, what it means to be young. That's about it. I also decided to get married. We were wed in 1982.